Hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Creations. Once again bringing you a card made using products from the current 2022-23 Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. And when I did my demonstrator pre-purchase, I really only got one stamp set, and that was the Cup of Tea stamp set. And of course now the catalog is live and we can get everything, and I've ordered some more things, but for now this is all I have. And so I've been making cards with this. I have 2 other videos already up, but it's fun to show you a lot of different ways that you can use a stamp set so that you feel like you're getting your money's worth, right? So this is card number 3. In just a minute I'm going to tell something to mute. Alexa, mute. Sorry about that. She was making noise in the background. Okay, so now let's get started. I am going to be using this Cup of Tea bundle, so it has the stamps, and all I'm using of the stamps today, yes, is just the thank you from here. And then it has the dies, and I'm using the solid teacup die. And then I'm also going to be using hand-pinned, actually pinned flowers dies, and I'm using this scallop edge to create a piece for the card. And that's pretty much it other than supplies. So let's get to it. Let me show you the card first of all. Here is the card. Oh, and I used this punch, and this is called, I wrote it down because I can never remember, Bough, B-O-U-G-H, the Bough Plum Punch, excuse me. So I'm using that as well. I better get it so you can see it. Get the, kind of hard to tell, but yeah, there's a kind of a flower. You'll see them when they're punched out, and you'll be able to tell. Okay, so we're going to start with the typical, for me anyway, typical basic white thick card base. It's cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we will burnish that with the bone folder, just like that, to create our base card. And then layer 1 is a piece of the Pretty Prince Designer Series paper that's in the new catalog. It's all double-sided, as you can see. This is a lovely side as well, but I'm going to use this side today. And yeah, either one would look absolutely beautiful, wouldn't it? And it is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go just attach flat. So I'm just going to use Stampin' Seal, and we will put this in here. My finger stick. This is very sticky tape, which is a good thing. But anyway, get this so I can see the 3 sides. When I do it like this, it gives me a chance to see the distance, and I've got an 1/8 inch on 3 sides. So then when I lay it down, I know I've got a pretty straight layout there. Okay. Then I took, and I believe this is a Calypso Coral color. Then I took a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock, and I cut an edge of the scallops. And this particular piece, after I cut it longer than I needed so I could trim it down. And it's a 1/2 inch wide, top to bottom. And it's 2 3/4 long. And I actually, it might be just a fraction over 2 3/4, because what I did is I wanted to keep the full scallops. I didn't want to cut in the middle of a scallop. So it just a little bit more allowed me to do that. And it's going to go on the card just flat as well. So we're going to put some adhesive on that. And let's see, I think I'm putting this about, oh, maybe 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches from the bottom of the card. And I'm lining up the edge of it on the right side with the DSP that I just attached. And I want to make sure I get it straight. I'm going to have to lift it up here. I want to be careful before I press it into place. I want to make sure I get it straight. There we go. That looks pretty good, I think. You can be particular. I do have this cute little square, and I can use it to make sure that my piece is even, and it is. All right. I got these off of Amazon. They were 12 inches long. I cut this one to 6 so it'd be easier to handle, and it comes in pretty handy for when you want to get a piece perfectly straight. Okay, the next piece I did was this white piece. This is just basic white regular, and it is cut 5 by 1 3/8, so 5 inches long, 1 3/8 inches wide, and I'm going to put a little V in the end. This is a little bit too wide for the V punch, I believe, so I'm just going to do it by hand. And it's not that hard to do. You just eyeball the middle, cut down like that with a slice, and then go from the corner to the tip of that cut, and from this corner to the tip of the cut, and there's my V. So that's pretty easy to do if you don't have the punch, okay? Or if it won't work with the punch. Then I'm going to put some Blackberry Bliss around the edges of it. I just wanted it to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to bring in the Blackberry Bliss, and I have sponge daubers. This is how I store my sponge daubers. I got these containers there in the fishing tackle place in Walmart. And they fit perfect in here. They do touch the lid a little, as you can see, but I don't care about that. And I have one for every color, and I can tell that this is Blackberry Bliss, even though it's a little bit messed up. And I'm just going to bring it in, and we will just lightly ink the edges of this piece. Just like this. And I don't worry about being too uniform or whatever. The variations make it, that's part of the caricature of the piece. Okay, we're done with that. Then I'm going to stamp the thank you, as you can see on the original. I'm just going to stamp that kind of towards the bottom. So there's my piece I'm going to attach. Now, before I attach that, I'm done with that ink pad. Let me get that put away so I don't get ink where I don't want it. Now, before I attach this, I am going to put a piece of ribbon around it and tie a bow. And I didn't have any ribbon that would match, but this is in the catalog. It's called Shimmer Ribbon, and it's kind of a gray color. It's got a shimmer to it. And I didn't want to use gray. I wanted it to kind of go with my color scheme. So I am going to make sure I get in the picture. I want to make sure you can see this stuff. I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss Blends pen, the dark one. And I am going to just color it. This stuff dries permanent. This ink dries permanent, so it works perfect for this. And you can go over it as many times as you want to get it as dark as you want. So I'm just doing that. This is 12 inches long. I don't know if you need 12 inches, but I'd rather have too much than not enough, because then I'd end up wasting another piece anyway. So I just cut it long enough to know that I can wrap it around and make my bow. And I turned it over to color both sides so that when I tie the bow, it looks good from both sides. So let me finish that. And so, you know, you can also do this with like the baker's twine, the white baker's twine. So you could do that with this with that as well, and color that baker's twine. I've also been known to just put a couple drops of re-inker in a paper cup and throw my baker's twine in there and stir it around until it's all nicely colored. And so I've been known to do that as well. Now this is going to go on flat, so I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on the back like this. And then I am going to, I do not like trying to tie a bow, to put something around and tie it. So I'm just kind of picking where I want it. I'm just going to put it on there, wrap it around, and then I'm going to cut off what I need to wrap it around on the other side. And voila. And I can kind of lay it down here, give myself a straight line. Looks pretty good. Maybe just a little bit high on one side. Depends on how picky I want to be, I guess. Okay, and then I'm going to put some more adhesive on the back of that ribbon so it sticks good when I put it on the card. Okay, So now I'm going to put this on the card, and I want to cover up this one edge here just a little bit. So I'm going to put it on there and cover up the edge of that Calypso coral piece. I'm coming down about maybe just a shy 1/4 of an inch from the top. Obviously I want to stay in the frame here, and this is easy to decide what is straight there because you can just follow the edge of the paper. Now I'm going to tie a bow. The way I tie my bows is I make a loop and hold it there. I make a loop and hold it here. I fold those over each other, chase the rabbit through the hole, and most of the time it's pretty easy. Let me get it through there. And it doesn't matter if it comes out uneven because you're going to be able to pull your ends out and shape it up a little bit. And so it will come out. Okie dokie. And I'm just going to play with it till I get it the way I want it. And this kind of got a twist in it, so I'm going to try and fix that because I really don't want it to do that. So bear with me for a moment while I twist that. There it goes. And sometimes these come out looking, you know, and like I say, maybe a little more than I needed to, but I end up always having ribbon left over at the end of the year anyway because I forget to use it. And I'm happy with that bow. I think that's going to look nice. And then I'm going to get a glue dot or 2. And I will put a glue dot on the back of this. Sometimes I do more than one because I want it to hold really well. There we go. And then I'm just going to stick the bow on there. And I feel like that's just much easier for me than trying to tie it around. So there's that part. Now, I used the Blackberry Bliss paper from the Pretty Prince DSP, Designer Series papers. And it just makes a beautiful teacup all by itself. It's just gorgeous. So I cut that out already. And then these are, let me get my scrap paper in here that I've been using. These are the pieces I cut out using the bow punch. And what's kind of nice when you use the punch is it's very easy to turn them over so they don't all face the same direction. So I'm going to face these leaves in opposite directions. Start with these, and I'm going to color these with, I'm using all blends pins. I'm going to use light Old Olive. And I'm going to color these stems. And like I say, when you're using the blends pins, it's pretty much the only thing I use to color with anymore. I hardly ever use my basic markers. It's so funny because these color so beautifully and they don't leave streaks or anything. It's just really, really fun. And then you have the 2 colors, so you can go light and dark and add accents if you choose to. I'm not going to do that today, but you sure could. Some people are so wonderfully artistic, and I'm not one of them. So they know how to make these things look even prettier than I am doing. But this is me. This is who I am. Then I've got 5 of these little flower pieces. That's what I think they look like. Can you see them there? It's kind of hard to see white on white. Let me take one and put it here. So it looks like a little flower at the ends of them. So I'm going to color the stems of these with a different green. I'm going to use my light Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to color the stems of these flowers with that. And just like that. And I'm turning some of them over. So some of them are kind of leaning one way and some another. That's kind of fun to be able to do that. Get this up. Make sure you're seeing it. I always check these before my videos before I put them online, but you know, sometimes I just really don't want to have to redo them, so I try to get them right the first time. And again, sometimes you need to pick these up and look. You want to make sure you get your edges, your white edges, all colored really well. Not too hard to do with the thin stems, but anyway. Okay, then I'm still using blend pins. I'm going to bring in Melon Mambo. These are, again, all light. Oh, I could have used the brush end. It's much quicker. Let me turn that around. And just kind of all around it. And I'm going to color all 3 flowers on each stem the same color. I really like that Melon Mambo color. So that's one. Then this one is the light rich raspberry. And it's kind of a darker color, but it looks really pretty, especially when we get done putting it all together. And I used all lights. So this is rich raspberry light. Then this is the fresh freesia light. And I really like this fresh freesia. It's so pretty. And then because it's a new color, I'm going to use make 2 of these with the light orchid oasis. This is a beautiful color. Oh, it's just gorgeous for flowers especially. It's just marvelous. Simply marvelous. Okay, and I'm going to do 2 in that color just because I like it. And so this is the Orchid Oasis. Okay, so those are all colored, but I'm not done yet because I want to wink them with Wink of Stella. And so I'm going to make them shimmer just a little bit. Get that in here. The cute little flowers. I haven't used this punch very much, but you know, it's a really cute combination. Okay, now I'm going to attach them to the teacup, and to do that, I am going to just put a strip of Stampin' Seal along the top here of the back of the teacup. And then I'm going to just turn it over so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to attach to the back of this. And yeah, I'm going to turn this one this way. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit so they're not the same height. Okay, now I covered those. I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And now I'm going to bring my flowers in. And again, I'm just going to stick them, and some of them I'm going to stick kind of towards the front like that. And maybe I'll tuck that behind. And you can get quite a bit of depth just by attaching these in different ways. And then this one we'll put just like that. It's gonna hide one of those flowers unless I bring it forward like that. Oh, I like that. And then we'll put this one in. And we'll just have it be totally in front like that. And it's okay if they overlap, you see, because that's just gonna give it more depth and dimension. Come back, come back. And let's put, yeah, I need more in front. So I'm gonna tuck this one like this. And I'm not gonna fasten all those down tight when I put it on the card. So they'll have a little bit of lift to them as well. And let's put this one like this. There we go. So that's how I'm going to put that on the card. I'm thinking this one just feels a little bit tall to me. I'm gonna lay it down just a little bit further. I like it better shorter. There. Okay, so now I am going to put this on with dimensionals. And for the main part of the teacup, we can just put dimensionals. Come on, cooperate. Dimensionals. Oh, that one went wacko on me. Okay. And we'll put one here. And I'll put one up in here. And then I'm going to get some mini dimensionals, and I'm going to put a mini dimensional on this big leaf here, just to help raise up the leaf part, and this big leaf over here. And then I'm going to cut a thin strip off the edge of my dimensionals, and I'm going to put, and we'll take this sticky off one side, I mean. And that way I can put one on this leaf here and another piece on this leaf here, and that's enough. It doesn't need any more than that. Make sure that stays. Okay, and then I did want some under the on the handle so that the handle will be supported. So we'll just put one right here and one up here like that. Okay, then we'll make sure that none of those show, and they don't. So then we're going to attach this to the card front, and it's going to rest on the bottom of the teacup. It's going to rest on the little dotted line that's part of the design of the cutout of the that I made, the border punch, or border die, I should say. And I'm just going to stick that on there like that. And there is today's cup of tea cards. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't. I look forward to sharing more tips, tricks, and ideas with you. And you have a good day. Bye for now.